Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Tennessee gets the win over Kentucky, 33-27. Wasn't always pretty. Look, it was an ugly win, but Tennessee got the job done. I love the quote from Josh Heupel, played a lot on this channel. Ain't got to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. Just go out there and compete for 60 minutes. Look, sometimes this team leans on their defense. Sometimes they lean on special teams. We saw that with a couple of weeks ago with D. Williams' house call. But then also sometimes they lean on their offense to seal a game late in the fourth quarter. That's what they did last night against Kentucky. They improved to 6-2 on the year. Got an outshot at Atlanta. And look, I get it. It's a long shot. A lot of things have to happen. You're going to have to, number one, take care of your own business, but then you're also going to need a little help from either Missouri or Ole Miss against Georgia. But the bottom line is you're now 6-2. The floor is 8-4. And a lot of us said going into this season, we expect this offense to take a step back, defense to take a step forward, and maybe we're right around the 9-win range, and now you've set yourself up for that. You got Connecticut coming up on Saturday for homecoming. You wrap things up the end of the year against Vanderbilt. That's 2 wins. Tennessee looking at 8-4. Can you go on the road and beat Missouri? That's the key game for me. You go on the road and beat Missouri, it's going to be a hostile environment when Georgia comes to Neyland Stadium. But look, we've had a night to sleep on it, put some thoughts together, take a little bit of emotion out of it. This is the day after. Let's talk about Tennessee, Kentucky coming up here in just a second. But as always, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up just below this video. It is quick, free, and easy, and it does help the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't talk at you here. We talk with you. We are building a community of Tennessee fans right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. We'll be live tonight just like we are every Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the fan call-in show. If you disagree with anything that was said last night on the postgame show, anything that I say on today's video, join us tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You have a voice, and we'll talk about it. But let's get into it. Let's talk about Tennessee's 33-27 win over Kentucky. I'm going to start with Joe Milton. I'm going to start with the hot topic that everybody loves to debate week in, week out. Joe Milton played a solid football game last night. Joe Milton, the last couple of weeks, has played solid football. I thought he played good against Alabama. Thought he played really good last night against Kentucky. Something clicked for Joe at halftime of the Texas A&M game. I don't know what it was. I feel like he went into that locker room and he came out a different person. We saw him start to run the ball physically. We've talked about his size, how big he is, and that he runs scared. But Joe Milton came out of the locker room, halftime Texas A&M, all of a sudden he started to run the ball more physically. And I think seeing him make contact, that contact kind of, it's like being in a fight. Once you take that first punch, it's all out the window at that point, and you're just going and you are competing. You are fighting. You are straining. And I think that's what Joe Milton is doing now. I think, I said at the beginning of the year, I'm going to judge Joe week by week because Joe's inconsistent. But last night, the numbers he put up speak for themselves. 17 of 20, 227 yards, a touchdown, 0 interceptions. Didn't put the ball in harm's way. Joe Milton played a good football game. Took a couple of sacks, but still had 10 carries for 26 yards. Joe's got to be able to see. He's got to see. He needs that internal clock. When it starts to close around him, get up, climb the pocket, escape. Took a couple of sacks, but outside of that, ran the ball pretty efficiently. The one that really sticks out to me was on the 3rd and 7. Right there at the end of the game to seal it. We talk about situational awareness with Joe. I like that it's 3rd and 7, and he knows. He knows to get down inbound so that clock keeps rolling. I like seeing that from Joe. I thought he played a good football game. It was good to see Dante Thornton make some plays. Had 3 catches for 63 yards last night. We saw a little bit of what he can do in space. We saw a little bit of what excited me so much when he said he was coming to Tennessee. Now, something interesting worth noting with Dante Thornton last night is he played on the outside. With Brew McCoy being out, Thornton slid onto the outside. So is he more comfortable there? Is that a factor? Is that part of it? Is he more comfortable on the outside? And that's why we kind of saw him get in a rhythm last night, had those 3 catches. I thought he looked good. Excites me about the future. Expect him to come back next year. Can he put it together and be the player we thought he could be? Tennessee's ground game, the 3-headed monster. What a night for Tennessee rushing the football. 253 yards, average 5.4 yards per carry as a unit. Jalen Wright, absolute workhorse in the first half, 11 carries. 120 yards and a touchdown, averaged almost 11 yards per carry. But for me, the story is the depth, right? The depth in that running back room, and this is something we talked about on the tailgate show. Going into the game, people asking whether or not Kentucky's run defense was pretty good coming into the football game if they could contain Tennessee's running back room, Tennessee's offensive line. You saw that running back depth late in the game when Tennessee needed a score, running, you're trying to run that clock out after you get the score, but who do they lean on? They lean on Dylan Sampson. He came in and he took over the game in the fourth quarter, made guys miss, made something out of nothing a couple of times, and then he goes and he punches it in from 12 yards out. We're going to talk about red zone struggles here in just a second, but Dylan Sampson was the only guy to put it in the end zone inside the red zone. He was a man that would not be denied in that fourth quarter. And again, he had the drive when you needed a touchdown late. He took you down there and scored. And then also when you needed to milk that clock and get out of Kroger Field with a W, Dylan Sampson was your guy. Just a great day for the running back room, great day for Joe Milton. So I'm sitting here talking halfway into this video. Running game was good. Passing game was good. What went wrong on offense? Well, it's the same thing we've continued to see, and it's struggles in the red zone. Tennessee had 10 possessions on the night. 10 possessions on the night. They scored on 7 out of those 10 possessions. So if I tell you that going into the game, you're saying, oh, man, Tennessee put up a lot of points. Last drive of the game, they went 9 plays, 51 yards, and 8 up the clock. So really, they scored on 7 of 9 drives. 5 trips into the red zone, and they kicked 3 field goals. Only scored 1 touchdown. And again, one of those red zone trips was on that final drive when they were chewing the clock. So let's just say 4 red zone trips. You kicked 3 field goals. You had 1 touchdown from Dylan Sampson there in the fourth quarter that kind of sealed the game. But it's a combination, man. People talk about it. Is it play calling? Is it execution? Is it penalties? That first trip into the red zone, you had a 3rd and 4. Milton picks up the first down with his feet, comes back for a holding. You settle for a 44-yard field goal. Second trip down there, you got a 3rd and 9, still 3rd and long, not the situation you want to be in. But a false start takes that 3rd and 9, makes it 3rd and 14. You settle for a 49-yard field goal. Third trip was on Josh Heupel, time management. Didn't like it last night. Didn't like it on Twitter. Didn't like it on the postgame show. And I don't like it now after I've had a night to sleep on it. Josh Heupel's time management at the end of the first half was a lack of confidence in Joe Milton, period. End of story. And yes, don't get it twisted. People on Twitter last night couldn't grasp what I was saying. Joe Milton played a good football game, but Josh Heupel didn't have confidence in him when Tennessee had a 3-point lead. They had 1 minute and 46 seconds left until the half. You're going to receive to start the third quarter. You have a chance to really win that middle 8 and run Kentucky out. Tennessee elects to run the football. I got no problem with that. They've had success running the football all night. Why not try to pop a run early? What I have a problem with is you run the ball, and then you let the clock run all the way down. You run the ball again. You let the clock run all the way down. You're inside of 30 seconds now, and you get the 17-yard completion to Ramel Keaton on 3rd down. So now, all of a sudden, you got some confidence. You're trying to go score, but you've wasted almost a minute of time to get to that point. You don't have time. You get down there inside the red zone. You got 7 seconds left. You don't take a shot. You elect to kick the field goal. It is what it is. That's on Josh Heupel. That's poor time management, and it is a lack of confidence in Joe Milton. You're scared that your 6-year senior is going to turn the football over and cost you the game. So you're more confident to go in the locker room up 3 than you are to try to go for their throat. That's a different mindset, and we had the debate last night. I love Josh Heupel. I think Josh Heupel's a great coach. So is he a good coach for recognizing that Joe Milton will put the ball in harm's way and understanding that you're playing pretty good football at the time you got a 3-point lead? You tell me, does that make him a good coach or a bad coach? On the flip side of the red zone struggles, Charles Campbell. What a day. 4 for 4 on the night, long of 49 yards. The kid's been automatic. He's now 15 of 17 on the year. His only miss came from he's missed 2 field goals, both come from beyond 50 yards. Just been absolutely automatic. Don't talk about him enough. What a contribution he's made to this football team when they're struggling to get in, when they're inside the red zone. Last thing I want to talk about, Tennessee defense, just, terrible in the passing game, obviously. They did a good job stopping the run. 72 rushing yards, 3 yards per carry for Kentucky. Ray Davis going into this game leading the SEC in rushing yards per game. Held him to 16 carries, 42 yards, 2.6 yards per carry, and a touchdown. But Devin Leary had himself a day, man. He looked like a Heisman Trophy candidate, and he played good football back in 2021. But when Kentucky added him through the transfer portal, they thought they had somebody special. He's not been that guy in 2023, but he was that guy last night. 28 of 39, 372 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also added 21 yards on the ground. Thought he extended plays with his feet as well. Look, he played good football. But he had negative 47 rushing yards, going into this game, and he ran the football for 21 yards against Tennessee, and again, extended plays with his feet. What's the problem with this defense? And it's almost comical. It's almost comical when we look at it, because you go back to that Texas A&M game, people in the chat, people in the comments, a lot of people praising Tim Banks. Tennessee defense won this game. What a different style of football. Man, this don't look like Josh Heupel football. You're winning with your defense. Fast forward to a 33-27 win over Kentucky. People are ready to fire Tim Banks again. I don't think that's the answer, but I do think they played soft zone coverage, and Leary picked them apart. That's a problem. Tennessee couldn't get home. Josh Heupel asked in the postgame press conference, why couldn't you get home against Kentucky? He gave you another moment of silence like he did against Alabama. But Tennessee finds a way to get it done, 33-27, improving to 6-2. Now I think, the floor is 8-4. Let's go win 9-10 ball games. Let's go make it happen. Let's close out this season. Let's finish strong. You guys know what to do. Jump into that comment section. Let me know your thoughts on the win over Kentucky. What are your thoughts on Tim Banks, this Tennessee defense? How do you think Joe Milton is playing the last couple of weeks? Let's talk about it in the comment section. As always, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the merch. You guys know where. Pick up your Talkin VAWLS merchandise at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We appreciate all the support. You can also join this channel. You want to support what we are building, what we are growing. You want to be a part of the family. Hit the join button down below for $1 a month. You get access to Talkin VAWLS emojis, fan call-in shows, Power T beside your name in the chat, all kinds of fun perks and benefits. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.